Hello and welcome to our course on leadership for rural youth. In this first module, we'll explore what leadership really means and how small everyday actions can make a big impact. Let's get started on your journey on becoming a leader in your community. Chapter 1: What leadership really means. Leadership is much more than a title, a fancy office, or a badge of authority. It's a way of influencing and inspiring those around you. True leadership is about the light you carry into your community, the example you set, and the energy you spark in others. It's the subtle power of action, not words on a nameplate. Leadership often shows up in the small, everyday moments. Helping a neighbor carry groceries, organizing a neighborhood cleanup, leading a friendly game at a local park, or even speaking up in a classroom or team discussion. Leadership is not just for adults. Fun fact: research shows that children as young as 10 often naturally take on leadership roles in school clubs, sports teams, or community projects. According to a study published by the Journal of Leadership Education, children develop key leadership skills, including communication, empathy, and problem-solving, through group projects, team sports, and peer mentoring programs. Practical tip: look around your community. Notice who others follow, not because of a title, but because they make things happen. Chapter 2: Leadership in daily life. Leadership doesn't only happen on grand stages or in corporate boardrooms. It thrives in the everyday moments that shape our communities, schools, and social circles. Real-life examples of everyday leadership: a youth organizing a park cleanup day, coordinating volunteers, managing resources, and communicating the plan teaches organizational and social skills. A friend mediating a conflict in a sports team. Leadership often means listening first and acting calmly to resolve tension. A student suggesting a new system for library books. By identifying problems and proposing solutions, students not only help their peers, but also gain confidence in their problem-solving and decision-making abilities. These small actions often ripple outward, inspiring others to act. Leadership is about being first to act, first to listen, and first to step up, even when no one else does. Example: in a small town, a group of students started a buddy system to help new classmates feel included. They didn't have any official title, but they became the go-to leaders because they took responsibility for helping others feel welcome. Chapter 3: The light leaders carry. Leadership can be imagined as a light in the dark. But unlike a flashlight held for personal gain, this light doesn't shine for yourself. It shines so others can see the way forward. True leaders illuminate possibilities, show paths that others might not see, and guide people toward positive action. Leadership is not about power, authority, or recognition. It's about vision, courage, and the willingness to act when no one else does. Story: a 15-year-old in a rural village noticed that younger children had nowhere to play safely after school. He organized a small team to clean up an unused lot and build simple play equipment. His leadership didn't come from authority. Fun fact: research shows that when leaders act first, other people are 60 to 70% more likely to follow. The first step matters more than the title. Chapter 4: Responsibility versus position. Leadership is often misunderstood as a title, a corner office, or a badge of authority. In reality, leadership is not granted by position. It is earned through responsibility. True leaders recognize that their actions, decisions, and behavior have consequences not just for themselves, but for everyone around them. Responsibility is the foundation of influence. Without it, a title is just a piece of paper. Case study: two youth leaders in a community project. One had an official title, the other didn't. The titled leader gave instructions but rarely checked in. The untitled leader actively listened, guided the team, and helped solve problems. Surprisingly, the team followed the untitled leader more closely. Why? Leadership comes from accountability and action, not authority. Practical tip. Focus on what you can control: your actions, decisions, and how you treat others. That's where real leadership begins. Chapter 5. Credibility and Trust. Trust is the foundation of all effective leadership. Without it, influence falters, teams struggle, and initiatives fail. A leader who is credible and trustworthy naturally inspires others to follow, because people feel confident that the leader's actions and decisions align with their words and values. Leadership is not just about ideas, it's about being a person others can rely on. Core traits of a trusted leader. Values. Trusted leaders make decisions based on clear principles rather than convenience. They know what they stand for and act accordingly. For instance, a leader who values fairness ensures everyone has an equal voice in group discussions. Trustworthiness. Honesty, transparency, and reliability are non-negotiable. Leaders who share information openly, admit mistakes, and give credit where it's due build strong relational foundations. Consistency. People follow leaders whose behavior is steady and predictable. Consistency reassures teams that decisions are guided by principle rather than impulse. Accountability. True leaders own both their successes and failures. They avoid blaming others, and they use setbacks as learning opportunities. Accountability strengthens credibility and models responsibility for others. Example. A youth council president promised to organize a sports day. He followed through, communicated openly when there were challenges, and involved others in decisions. Because of his credibility, more young people joined future projects. Fun fact: according to a Harvard study, trust is the single strongest predictor of team performance. Teams with high trust leaders are over twice as likely to succeed. Chapter 6. Core Leadership Values. Trust is the foundation of all effective leadership. Without it, influence falters, teams struggle, and initiatives fail. A leader who is credible and trustworthy naturally inspires others to follow, because people feel confident that the leader's actions and decisions align with their words and values. Leadership is not just about ideas, it's about being a person others can rely on. Key values for youth leaders. Honesty. Always tell the truth, even when it's hard. Integrity. Align actions with principles. Respect. Treat everyone fairly and listen actively. Inclusion. Ensure everyone feels valued and able to contribute. Example. A youth-led community garden welcomed children from all backgrounds. By modeling respect and inclusion, the garden became a safe and creative space for everyone. Fun fact: studies show that teams who share core values are 50% more likely to stick together and succeed. Exercise. Write down your top 3 values. For each, think of one action you can take this week that demonstrates that value in your community. Chapter 7. Accountability in Action. Leadership isn't just about making decisions or giving instructions. It's about owning outcomes, both successes and failures. Accountability is the glue that holds trust, credibility, and influence together. A leader who takes responsibility demonstrates maturity, earns respect, and inspires others to step up and act responsibly themselves. Without accountability, even the most talented or energetic leader will struggle to build a cohesive team. Example. A teen organizing a charity bake sale accidentally miscalculated expenses. Instead of blaming others, they informed the team, adjusted the plan, and learned from the mistake. The team respected their honesty and dedication. Practical tip. Keep a leadership journal. Record decisions you made, what worked, what didn't, and what you would do differently next time. Reflection strengthens accountability. Fun fact: leaders who openly admit mistakes are often seen as more competent and approachable than those who never acknowledge errors. Chapter 8: Leadership Styles Overview. Different situations require different leadership approaches. Understanding these styles helps youth leaders adapt effectively. Take a look at this chart showcasing the different leadership styles. Fun fact: research suggests that leaders who flexibly switch styles based on context see 30 to 40% higher team engagement. Exercise: identify a recent situation in your community. Which leadership style would have worked best and why? Chapter 9: Democratic Leadership in Practice. Democratic leadership is all about involving the team in decision-making. Instead of issuing directives from the top, democratic leaders invite input, encourage discussion, and consider the opinions of everyone involved. This approach builds engagement, ownership, and commitment because team members feel their voices matter and their contributions shape the outcome. Example: a youth council wanted to renovate a playground. They held a vote on design options, inviting community feedback. Participation increased excitement, and the team felt proud of the final outcome. Fun fact: participatory leadership often results in 70% higher buy-in for community projects compared to top-down decisions. Activity: organize a small vote among friends or classmates on a fun decision, like which charity project to support. Reflect on how involving everyone changes the group dynamic. Chapter 10: Coaching Leadership. Coaching leadership is about guiding others to develop their skills, confidence, and potential rather than simply giving instructions or telling people what to do. A coaching leader empowers team members to grow, make decisions, and learn from experiences. This style fosters long-term engagement, self-reliance, and resilience, especially important in youth leadership, where developing future leaders is part of the mission. Example: a teen mentor noticed peers struggling with public speaking. They organized weekly practice sessions, offered feedback, and encouraged each participant. By the end, everyone felt more confident presenting their ideas. Tips for youth coaches: ask questions instead of giving answers. Celebrate small improvements. Encourage peers to try and learn from mistakes. Fun fact: studies show coaching leadership increases long-term engagement and skill development by over 50% in youth teams. Exercise: pick a skill you are good at. Offer to coach a friend or younger student, focusing on encouragement and guidance, not correction. Chapter 11: Servant Leadership. Servant leadership is a style where the leader's primary focus is on the growth, well-being, and success of their team. Instead of seeking authority or recognition, servant leaders put the needs of others first, supporting them so they can perform at their best. This approach fosters trust, loyalty, and a strong community culture, making teams more cohesive and motivated. Example: a youth group wanted to run a community cleanup. The leader organized logistics, carried supplies, and encouraged every participant to take part. By focusing on the team's needs first, the event ran smoothly, and volunteers felt appreciated and motivated. Fun fact: servant leaders often create teams with the highest engagement and retention rates. People want to follow leaders who genuinely care about them. Exercise: think of one way you can serve your peers this week. It could be helping someone with a task, offering guidance, or simply listening. Chapter 12: Visionary Leadership. Visionary leadership is about seeing the bigger picture and inspiring others to move toward it. Visionary leaders provide a clear direction, communicate the purpose behind actions, and help their team understand not just the what, but the why. By connecting everyday tasks to a meaningful goal, they motivate individuals to commit fully and innovate creatively. Example: in a rural community, a youth-led initiative aimed to switch the local school to renewable energy. The leader shared a compelling vision, showing how solar panels would reduce costs and protect the environment. Inspired, the team rallied, gained local support, and implemented the project. Fun fact: visionary leaders can significantly increase motivation, especially during times of change or uncertainty. A clear purpose makes tasks feel meaningful. Activity: create a vision board for a project or cause you care about. Include your goal, steps, and how it will impact your community. Share it with a friend or team for feedback. Chapter 13: Directive Leadership. Directive leadership is a style where the leader provides clear instructions, sets expectations, and closely manages execution. Unlike participatory or coaching styles, directive leaders take a more hands-on approach to ensure tasks are completed correctly and efficiently. This style is particularly effective in urgent, high-stakes, or fast-paced situations, or when team members are inexperienced and need guidance. Example: during a school sports day, a youth leader coordinated multiple teams for a relay race. They assigned roles, explained rules clearly, and monitored progress. The event ran smoothly, showing that clear direction can prevent confusion in fast-paced situations. Fun fact: directive leadership is particularly effective when team members are inexperienced or under time pressure. In these cases, clarity prevents mistakes and reduces stress. Exercise: think of a situation where quick action is needed. Practice giving clear instructions to someone, then ask for feedback on how easy your guidance was to follow. Chapter 14: Adapting Leadership Styles. Strong leaders don't rely on a single style. They adjust based on context, team, and objectives. Flexibility is key. Example: a youth community project leader used coaching to train new volunteers, servant leadership to support the team during a festival, and directive leadership during an emergency setup. Each style fit the moment and the project succeeded. Fun fact: studies show that leaders who flexibly switch styles increase team performance and satisfaction by up to 40%. Exercise: review your last leadership experience. Which style did you use? Could another style have worked better? How will you adapt next time? Chapter 15: Essential Skills for Youth Leaders. Leadership relies on practical skills that can be developed and practiced. Self-awareness: know your strengths, limits, and impact on others. Communication: speak clearly, listen actively, and adjust your message to different people. Decision-making: analyze options and take responsible action, even under uncertainty. Team facilitation: guide discussions, encourage participation, and keep everyone aligned. Conflict basics: recognize, address, and manage disagreements constructively. Exercise. Example: a youth leader noticed tension during a project. By facilitating a discussion and listening to all sides, they turned conflict into a productive conversation that improved team collaboration. Fun fact: self-aware leaders are 50% more likely to make ethical decisions and gain trust from their peers. Exercise. Pick one skill from the list. Practice it in a small activity this week, like leading a discussion, resolving a disagreement, or reflecting on your own reactions to challenges. Chapter 16: Self-Awareness and Communication in Action. Self-awareness and communication are foundational skills for youth leaders. Understanding how your words and actions affect others allows you to lead authentically. Example: a young leader noticed they tended to interrupt peers during group discussions. By reflecting on this and practicing active listening, they improved team collaboration and trust. Fun fact: active listening increases understanding and reduces conflict by up to 60% in group projects. Exercise: keep a daily reflection journal. Write down one instance each day where your actions or words influenced others. Note what worked and what could improve. Chapter 17: Decision-making and team facilitation. Making decisions and facilitating a team go hand in hand. Leaders need to guide groups while considering all perspectives. Example: a youth group needed to organize a local charity fundraiser. The leader created a plan, delegated tasks, and held weekly check-ins. By guiding the team while listening to ideas, the fundraiser was successful and enjoyable for everyone. Fun fact: teams with strong facilitation and collaborative decision-making complete projects faster and with higher satisfaction rates. Exercise: organize a mini-project, e.g., classroom or neighborhood task. Practice creating a plan, delegating tasks, and checking in regularly to facilitate teamwork. Chapter 18: Conflict Basics. Conflict is a natural part of teamwork, but how leaders handle it defines their effectiveness. Constructive conflict can spark new ideas, foster better understanding, and strengthen relationships. Leaders who approach disagreements thoughtfully can turn challenges into opportunities for growth and collaboration. Example: during a community project, two team members disagreed on how to allocate funds. The youth leader facilitated a discussion where each person explained their reasoning. The solution combined both ideas, making the plan stronger. Fun fact: studies show that teams who resolve conflict constructively are 50% more creative and productive. Exercise: role-play a disagreement scenario with friends. Practice listening, summarizing each side, and finding a solution that incorporates input from all parties. Chapter 19: Youth Leadership in Rural Contexts. Rural communities offer unique challenges and opportunities for youth leaders. Proximity: everyone knows each other. Actions are highly visible. Relationships: trust and personal connections are key. Limited resources: leaders must be creative and collaborative. Intergenerational dynamics: balance traditional values with new ideas. Example: a rural youth organized a community library with donated books. By involving older community members for support and younger peers for management, the project thrived despite limited resources. Fun fact: many globally recognized leaders began their journeys in small rural communities, learning to lead with resourcefulness and strong relationships. Exercise: identify a small challenge in your community. Plan a project that uses local resources and builds connections across age groups. Chapter 20: Conclusion and Inspiring Call to Action. Leadership is a journey, not a title. True leaders illuminate the path for others, empower youth, and create lasting positive change. Key takeaways: leadership is action, example, and responsibility. Credibility comes from trust, values, and accountability. Different styles suit different situations. Adapt as needed. Essential skills: self-awareness, communication, decision-making, facilitation, conflict management. Enable effective youth leadership. Rural youth can thrive as leaders by building relationships, resourcefulness, and bridging generations. Fun fact: many famous leaders started as teenagers solving problems in their local communities. Small actions can lead to extraordinary impact. Final exercise. Pick one leadership action you can take this week to benefit your community. Reflect on how it models values, engages others, and makes a positive difference.